Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. I've got a very important video I want to share with you guys. And this video is being brought to you for the simple fact that I've seen a lot of comments, I've seen a lot of emails coming through and huge requests and demand for more information on money, more information on budgeting, more information on trying to find ways to get by and continue to make ends meet, keep your head above water. A lot of folks out there living paycheck to paycheck, and they want more information on what they're up against, what they're doing, what they could be doing differently, what they could be doing better, and maybe a comparison of how their life circumstances, their income compares to others, and maybe other cities, other states, and other income levels. So I got some information here I want to bring you guys on money and finance and budgeting and just the economy in general, where we're at, where we're going. And feel free, comment below, email me, ask questions. I want to help you guys. I'm here to help you guys. So I'm putting this information together for you just for that intended purpose. So we're going to go ahead and dive right into it. So the first thing I got pulled up here is the average monthly expense per household. Now, what we see here, and this is brought to us, provided by The Motley Fool, and it says that the average monthly expense per household is $5,111. So what that tells us is that every month, on average, that's how much it's going to cost just to pay the bills. That's your overhead, that's your operating cost, so to speak, you know, if we were talking about businesses. The thing I want to point out here that's most important is that this information, although this website, this page says it's been updated recently, this information is based on 2020 figures. So what does that mean? Well, that's simple. That means that these numbers, that these averages here that they share, these expenses, these costs, these are low, these are light. These do not account for the recent inflation that we've experienced and the inflation that we should expect to occur for the next several months. Granted, Jerome Powell, the Fed, they've made announcements. There will be pain. This, you know, they're raising interest rates. They're anticipating continuously raising interest rates to fight inflation as every single month CPI numbers come in higher and higher and higher. So as these inflation numbers continue to come in higher, they're going to continue to raise rates until that can kind of subside and possibly reverse. But with that being said, these numbers here are a little light. So we got to take into consideration that everything that I'm about to explain to you is more expensive today than it was back in 2020. So to put that into perspective, I'm going to bring up what we have here. This is an inflation calculator. Now, this is actually provided by usinflationcalculator.com. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to make some comparisons to the budget averages provided by The Motley Fool and relate them to what they cost today in comparison to what they were in 2020. So I want to go ahead and start from the top here. And it says that Americans' household average monthly expenses is $5,100 a month, $5,111 a month. The average monthly expenses for American households, according to most recent consumer expenditure survey from the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics, granted 2020, and it asks, where does all that money go? For the typical person, it covers quite a few different things, from major costs like payments to their mortgage lender and groceries to smaller expenses like apparel. And by peeking into the national average budget for all these categories, we can get a better idea of where people spend the most and how our own spending habits compare. Key findings: the average household's monthly expenses total $61,334 a year. This is very important, especially for the fact that this is based on 2020 figures and recent videos that I've shared with you stating that $50,000 annual budgets are tough to get by on. Now, granted, this is an average. So some average monthly household expenses will total more. Some will total less. But at $50,000, it's tough. And here, they're saying it's $61,334 just to pay the bills. So if you're falling in below that, then we need to work on ways to increase that. It says the average annual income after taxes is $74,949. So, you know, just for rough math, let's just say it's 75 grand. the average annual income after taxes is 75 grand. That's going to put you at a gross salary, gross annual income of about $100,000 a year before taxes. Housing is the largest average cost at $1,784 a month, making up almost 35% of typical spending. And we know that based on recent reports, a video I put up maybe about 2 weeks ago, U.S. Census Bureau came back with the average monthly rent cost is now around $2,000 a month. And, rent typically trends close to mortgage payments. Rent maybe usually is just a little bit a hair higher because of the theoretically ease of renting, and the you don't necessarily need to put the money down for down payment on the house. So anywhere from $1,784 to $2,000, roughly about what the housing cost is per month, with Americans spending $610 on food per month, with about 2/3 being spent on groceries and the rest on eating out. Now, we know a lot of folks aren't eating out like they used to, and we know groceries are more expensive than they used to be. And we're going to touch on that too when we calculate the inflation costs. Transportation costs more than many realize at $819 a month, largely due to the intermittent nature of these expenses. And obviously this is a low number because the average new car price in America now is like almost $45,000 or something like that. So transportation cost is high. You add in gas, diesel fuel costs, high. You add in the increases in insurance premiums, high, and maintenance, it just continues to go up. Healthcare spending averages $431 a month, and the average single person spends $329 more per year than they take home, which basically means that most people are in the hole. Most people don't make enough money to pay these expenses. They have to borrow. They have to use credit cards. They have to carry debt, not just incur debt, but carry debt, as annually they spend more than they make. And we got this figure here. Average monthly expenses per household, $5,111. So I want to show you guys this inflation calculator here. So what I want to do is I'm going to take this to July, only because I've already done this, and I know that July is pretty much the most recent data that we have available. They haven't updated this inflation calculator for August or September yet. So we're going to run with July, and we're going to take $5,111 as the average monthly expenses. So if we were to take that and look at it for 2020, $5,111. But if we were to apply inflation to this figure, this is what we're going to see happen here. It would cost more, 14.35% more based on this, which we know is a rough estimate, probably slightly higher than this actually. $5,844 is the new 2022 average monthly expense. So $5,844 a month to cover your basic expenses when you apply inflation to these figures. So it says, keep in mind that living costs vary by region. Some cities are very affordable, while others are extremely expensive. The figures presented below are national averages. Consumer spending in the United States have been steadily increasing, but 2020 was a departure from that trend, likely because of the pandemic, and average expenses decreased by 2.7% from 2019 to 2020. So these numbers are actually extremely low in comparison to 2019. We're still applying the inflation factor to it, but you guys get the idea. I think you do. If you don't, comment below and I'll explain it a little bit further on the next video. So now we get down to the average annual income per household, $74,949. Let me know, comment below where you fall in here. You don't have to be specific. Specifics help, but you don't have to be specific. Say, I'm there, I'm above it, I'm below it, because I'm really curious about how many folks are actually coming in at this average, because we want to look at this too and related to inflation, 74,949. So that means that today, 2022, with inflation applied to this, 85,702 is the new average based on inflation. So if you were in this category, if you were in this income bracket, in 2020, you would have to make $85,702.45 in 2022 to just stay on par, if that makes sense. And it says the average American household annual income after taxes is almost 75 grand. And it says the average pre-tax income is 85. That is extremely generous on the taxes. Because you guys know just as well as I do how much gets taken out of your check from federal taxes, state taxes, Social Security, Medicare, all the other expenses associated with that. That's pretty light to me, but we're going to run with this just for argument's sake. But based on the income and spending figures, Americans spend 82% of their income after taxes and have a savings rate of 18%. So that's close to the recommended savings rate of at least 20%. While the amount you save is most important, where you put that money also matters. The best option is a high yield savings account to maximize the interest you earn. That is just what I'm reading from this website. I'm not going to say I agree. I'm not going to say I disagree, but a high yield savings account doesn't even hold a candle to what we're seeing in inflation right now. It's a joke. But here it is. They got a breakdown. Items, housing, transportation, personal insurance and pensions, healthcare, groceries, entertainment, restaurants and other meals away from home, cash contributions, apparel and services, education, miscellaneous, personal care, reading, and it gets down here to the total spend, which we've already calculated this with inflation. We are above that. And you can see here, let's look at the annual cost. So it says total spend 61,334. So with inflation, 61,334, that means that with inflation, if we take these average expenses here and run it out for 12 months with inflation, $70,134 on average is what it's going to cost you after tax income to pay your bills. $70,134.01. So just to put that into perspective, and this is right now, this is very, very important because the economy it's making it very, very difficult for a lot of people to maintain and stay afloat and get by and pay their bills and get ahead and not get swallowed up and wiped out and suffocated by inflation and high prices and a tough job market and mass layoffs and everything else that's going on. And, I came across this channel just the other day, and this is the Nomadic Introvert. And there's a concept here. There's an idea. There's a theory. And she is moving, she says she's an 80s baby. She's been interested in this lifestyle far before it became popular on YouTube. But with that being said, she's actually using YouTube as a platform to increase her reach, possibly earn additional side hustle, passive income streams with nearly 28,000 subscribers and, already having accumulated almost 2 million views since June of this year. Really, she's only been doing this, let's just say, for July and August. So she's been doing this for like 2 months. She's getting 1 million views a month. I'm going to tell you guys right now, she's on to something. She's on to something. I'm going to tell you that right now. But either way, she's living in her van. And I noticed that she was back and forth between living in her van and living in her car because she had a malfunction with the van. And this is a Ram ProMaster. She bought it brand new. So hopefully whatever the issue was, it was covered under warranty. But, she was back in her car for a little bit because the van broke down. She had mentioned that she's a minimalist. She's always been a minimalist, even if she didn't really put the label on it. And, she's more concerned with not being held down by a job and the need to earn income, having the ability to travel and be free. And I think she's got some great stuff here. I haven't watched all the videos. I watched maybe 2, and I'm really interested in what she's got going on here. But this is more common, people living in their cars by choice, by force. But this is a cheaper alternative to the annual and monthly expenses that add up annually to your housing costs being, $21,409 a year. If we take that 21,409 and we add that inflation factor to it, that's almost, $24,480 a year just for housing, and not everything else that comes along with it. I mean, shoot, I'd be willing to bet that, and that's annually, I'd be willing to bet that, and for, $1,784 a month, and let's just add inflation to that, $1,784 a month, we add inflation, you're at $2,039. I can promise you, $2,039, I can promise you that what she pays for her van, nowhere near $2,039 a month for the van that she'll own and she's using to make content and ultimately make money off of. So that's a whole nother topic there, which again, I'm here to help you guys. I get a lot of emails, comments, questions, direct messages in the group. How do I make more money? What can I do on the side? Give me some ideas, share with me. Well, guys, I found one. It's called Snappy, snappy.com. Go check it out. I haven't done it, but I just want to show you the opportunities that exist. Snappy.com, sending smiles one gift at a time. But here's the key. There's a tab up here. It says company and the careers. Okay, check this out. It says, shape the future of gifting with us. Our mission is to spread smiles across the world, and that starts with our employees. Okay, now, you know my feelings about being an employee, but we got to make some money right now. Okay, and if you can do it on the side and or from home or whatever helps you in your situation to get you ahead, pay attention, please. Scroll down, scroll down, scroll down, keep going. They're telling you about the company and, what their mission is and their community. It all sounds great. I haven't done it. I don't know anything about it. All I'm saying is I found this and I wanted to share it with you guys so you guys knew. They have positions down here. And the key that I want to show you guys is right here on the side here, Consumer Marketing Manager, Consumer Senior Growth Marketing Manager, Manager Merchandise Planning. And do you guys have any experience in these areas as consumer? Anybody got a marketing degree? I know there's so many people that I went to school with that went into college to get marketing degrees. I know there's a huge demand for it. And how many of you have marketing experience? How many of you have marketing degrees? How many of you post on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, anywhere social media based? Guess what? You have marketing experience. But these three jobs here, guess what? Remote, remote, remote. That means you can work from home. Let's check this one out. Actually, let's go back to this one because that one says New York. So I'm not 100% sure, but let's just go with this one. Marketing manager or manager merchandise planning. And it says, hours are 9 to 6 Eastern. Oh boy, look at this. Compensation. We feel passionately about transparency and compensation. Total compensation for this role is market competitive, including a base salary range of $120,000 to $130,000 with a target bonus up to 10%. So that could be anywhere from $12,000 to $13,000 in bonus. Snappy is looking for an amazing addition to our rapidly growing team who can help shape the next stage of our inventory management. The manager or merchandise planning will be essential in implementing and monitoring procedures that ensure proper inventory levels across our strategic partners and categories. The role requires strong partnership with both internal stakeholders and our diverse partner base. This is in high demand because managing merchandise and planning based on inventory levels across strategic partners. That's a complex and complicated process because the supply chain is still in shambles, working towards repair. So this seems to be, to me, a really, really good opportunity here. And I think if you can manage this and pull this off, then you may find yourself in a great position with a company growing towards an industry of gift giving, which, is a great opportunity for interest in other companies looking to find additional ways to write off expenses and things like that. So this is a great little deal here. And it says vacancy, so you can apply here. put your name and your information in here. So I just wanted to share that with you guys so that you were aware that this is out there. I'm actually going to do some searching and see if I can find some more of these websites, these web-based, maybe internationally based companies that have these tabs for careers that show opportunities of remote employment, basically allowing you the ability to work from home, you know, and maybe even have a second income, a second job, a side hustle, or whatever. This is of huge concern because people are struggling. The middle class is on the verge of getting wiped out, and you're gonna have to do something, whether it is tweaking your budget, whether it is increasing your income, or both. Inflation is adding to the burden, it's adding to your monthly costs, your annual expenses. And I don't think that financial education, personal financial education, has been a hot topic in schools and teaching a lot of people at a young age on how to survive this, really. You know, you think about what the schools are teaching, they probably need to include a course, a class, an elective in school that talks about the economy, that talks about inflation, that talks about world conflict and how to survive that, you know, because this is what we're going through right now is unprecedented. We're going to make it through it, but can you imagine how much easier this would have been for so many if they had this education, if they had this knowledge and this information available to them earlier on? Besides the folks sitting at home, hoping, praying, waiting, thinking that the government is going to come in and hand them a check, you know, a stimulus check, just, you know, free government money because things are bad. Look, sure, they did it before a few times, but they realized the error in their ways and how that ultimately created more of a problem, added, you know, poured salt on the wound that we're now trying to recover from. So if you're sitting there waiting for a stimulus check or any extra government assistance, I don't want to burst your bubble, but you may want to look into some other options. And if you're sitting and hoping and waiting that relying on the government to just subsidize your income, universal basic income, you know, socialist society, communist, basically communism, you might be better off actually, you know, putting forth some effort into solving these problems yourself instead of waiting on the rescue team and the cavalry to come. That's just not coming. So either way, I wanted to share this information with you, as well as Stephen Gardner, and he's a friend of mine. And you guys may have actually found my channel from Stephen because he mentioned me in a previous video because he's got a giveaway that he's doing. He does a giveaway every month, I believe. And it's a really great way that, you know, I'm very impressed with what he's been able to do and what he's built here and how much he wants to help everybody as much as he can, everybody watching, all the subscribers. And he does these monthly giveaways. And I think it's a great thing to help those people. Now, don't rely on it, but it is a great thing that he's doing, that he promotes. And I actually sponsored a portion of September's giveaway. So you guys may be here or found my channel through one of his videos. And if you did, welcome. I'm glad you're here. Glad to have you. Thank you for coming over. Thank you for subscribing. But Stephen actually is, if you see here on his banner here on his YouTube channel, you guys go check out his channel if you haven't already. He's actually an author, and he has a book here, and it's on Amazon, and you can see it's here. It's called Taming Wall Street: Capture the Gains, Eliminate the Losses. Now, I want to give you guys a brief description of what this book is about. And it says here, it says, take back control of your money now. Wall Street is a self-proclaimed wild animal with an unpredictable nature. When the market is doing well, she's a charging bull with what seems like unstoppable power. When the market is negative, she's a ferocious bear that can rip your life and retirement plans to shreds. And that's kind of what we were seeing right now, is the market being somewhat of a bear, really taking a toll on seniors, the nearing retirement age folks, and seeing their retirement plans and their later years being pretty much ripped to shreds as their investments, their stocks, their portfolio balances, any investments they had saw a decline. While the job market, possibly they saw layoffs, they saw a reduction in work hours and income. Then you add inflation on top of that, and it's just a growing struggle. Well, he's got this book here, Wall Street and banks have bred us into sheep. I want to teach you how to become a lion with your money. There's a way to harness the power of Wall Street without being crushed during bad times. Through financial education and proper product structuring, you can take back control of your money, have a predictable system for saving and investing, recover the money you spend on major purchases, and gain tremendous tax advantages. Learn how to capture the gains and eliminate the losses. And I think this is very important. Now, what I want to do is I want to try to coordinate with Stephen Gardner and get a time to do a collab with him to bring you guys this information from him personally to share with you guys. Maybe we could do it on a live stream so you guys can ask some questions and get some answers. But I also want to know how this relates to today, 2022, because this book was published in 2018. Now, there's going to be some similarities, but there's also going to be some differences and some changes that have occurred that folks need to be mindful of and be educated on so that they can take control of their money, take back control of their money, and not be led astray by these banks and other outside influences and media outlets and politicians and certain lawmakers or whoever telling you certain things that ultimately aren't in your best interest and will, at the end of the day, cost you money and put you further in the hole, as we are all trying to manage these monthly costs and annual costs of housing and transportation, personal insurance, healthcare, groceries. Groceries, $412 a month. Now, $412 a month. Let's run that through the inflation calculator. So $412 a month on groceries with the inflation calculator puts you at $471 a month. You guys comment. Let me know if you're spending $417 a month on groceries or if you're spending way more than that. That is going to be very interesting to see what those results come in as I suspect it's going to be a whole lot higher than that. And, you know, at the end of the day, I want to help you guys. I want to bring you guys the information that matters most. That's going to allow you guys the possibility to better prepare for the financial SHTF that is already here, is more likely to occur more often in the future, and possibly even more difficult and tougher than we've already experienced so far, based on information provided to us by the Fed, by Jerome Powell himself, as we move towards just a few days away from the most recent inflation report and where we're going to see the Fed go with the next interest rate hike, which will be unprecedented to see another 75 basis points hike as they continue to try to fight inflation, which is putting us, you know, just making things harder and harder and harder as we're rolling into a holiday season, Black Friday, Christmas. A lot of money that typically gets moved through the economy, through businesses, may not happen this year. And as a result, we may see some folks losing jobs. We may see some companies going out of business. Now is the time to get your finances in order. Now is the time to figure out how you can use opportunities and programs and employment opportunities and work from home, side hustle ideas like Snappy and others that I'm going to look for you guys to insulate yourself, build a cushion, build a backup plan, a plan B, and prepare yourself for this financial storm, this cold, cold winter that we are approaching. So I hope you guys found this interesting. I hope you found it helpful and informative to you. Comment below. I'm building my content based on what you guys are asking for, based on what you guys are saying, based on what the YouTube analytics are telling me in the back end that you guys are looking for and searching for and aren't actually finding the answers to. I want to bring you guys information. I want to bring you guys the truth. I want to bring you guys things that will help you better prepare for tomorrow, help your families better prepare so nobody gets wiped out, nobody gets crushed, nobody gets hurt, and everybody can succeed and thrive on after this. You guys take care. Be safe. I'll see you real soon.